Hello everybody and welcome back. In the latest installment of the Jermanzburg region series, you met a Frosty regional variant. I also uploaded a video about my take on a Hisuian Synchro. Please check it out if you haven't. Today is time for another Emblem Fakemon. What is an Emblem Fakemon, you may ask? Well, in short, it is a Fakemon that is only given to the winner of the so-called Emblem contest, which are part of the Emblem tournament. If you want more info, please check out this video right here and the video of the first Emblem Fakemon. But let's get right into the drawing process. All Emblem Fakemon are based on emblems of 8 federal states of Germany. And before I go any further, I have to mention that just because I used a federal state for these videos, it doesn't mean that I like it or that politics are something similar. They just happen to have the least repetitive emblems out of the 16 ones. Today's Fakemon is based on the emblem of Bavaria. You can see 3 different animals, 3 golden lions, 3 black lions and a blue panther. Since lions are pretty repetitive and it will be representing 1 or 2 different states, I choose to go with the panther, which by the way does not refer to the actual animal panther, but it's the term for this one with the logical being. I looked at a bunch of pictures and to me they often looked like wingless dragons and or a fusion of different animals. They also have a slim appearance, however I found that one emblem which was basically the top of a bull and the rest was a lion body, so I decided to make the base form bulky and compact, but it will turn more slender once it evolves. Also, while writing the script for the video, I started to read the Wikipedia article on the panther, and turns out I probably should have read it first when designing it. So apparently the panther has its origin in the Physiologos, which is basically a book of the early Christians about nature, animals and other stuff. Plus the panther is also part of European heraldic and means strong and undefeatable Christianity. Interesting to know, but we will forget about that for this Fakemon line. It has nothing to do with any of that. Oh, I also found out that the panther and the dragon are arch enemies. Well, I think I forgot to mention that this line is a pure Dragon type. Well, figured it would be a fitting moment to bring that one up. I mean, have you looked at the designs of the panther? That's as dragony as it gets. And a lot of the different versions look just unapologetically like a dragon, so here we are, I don't want to change it. I do think I probably went a bit too dark or, well, evil looking, considering the origin of the panther. Like, it's the enemy of the dragon, which was a symbol of the devil, and people believe the devil's evil and stuff like that. So I went with more, well, not so edgy colors, because that's the colors used on the emblem. I hope that balances out the whole design. Well, when it came to the colors, it was pretty obvious what I had to use. The typical colors associated with Bavaria are white and blue, so I did not go with that. Instead, I figured it would be more fitting to use the blue and yellow color scheme of the panther on the emblem, and add a bit of white highlights here and there. Also, the panther in this version has a pure black eye, so I used that too. It does look like a demon now. In the video about the first Emblem Fakemon, I explained that I wanted to incorporate numbers into the designs, like Iruvide, who is representing the number 3 and has 3 fur spikes on its back. Sometimes the panther is portrayed with a mane or something similar, so I decided to go with that. Which also means I have to be more creative when it comes to the lion Emblem Fakemon, because I can't make 2 or 3 Emblem Fakemon with numbers represented in the mane, you know. That's gonna be fun, probably not. I don't remember why I chose the number 8 for this Fakemon to resemble, but I did, so it got a mane out of 8 symmetrical mane fur thingies. Let's not question this. I also decided to incorporate the 8 into its name, so I have to do that for all the other Emblemons too. I revisited Pekoi and Iruvide and noticed that Iruvide contains the letters of Dre, I don't know, which is the Plattdeutsch term for 3. The internet tells me that the English translation of Plattdeutsch is called Low German, but that sounds kind of offensive in my opinion. Anyways, I looked up how to say 8 in different languages and settled on the Welsh form for 8. I can absolutely not reproduce whatever Google told me to pronounce it, so here it is written. And I think we are finished. Let's show you what the final design looks like. Here it is, Wythra. The name is a fusion of the Welsh term for 8 and dragon. It also sounds a bit like the German word wüten, which means to rage. You can only receive this Fakemon by beating one of the 8 emblem contests in the Jermanzburg region. Let's move to the final evolution. I already said that the physique of the Evo will be different from the pre-evolution. It's more accurate to the actual emblem you can see in the left upper corner. It also has a really long tail that it can and will use as a whip. The end part is shaped a bit like a stinger. It can't actually release any toxic substance, but it can still be used as a brutal weapon, but only in extreme situations. Also, the way it is posing the tail right now, it's forming the number 8, I wanted to hint at that. I again added the mane, but this time more full and less symmetrical. The horns are now less sideways and are longer than before. Wythra has these yellow markings on its face, and the evolution has them too, but they are now above and underneath the eyes. Those are giving the implication of a scar across the face. At least that's what I was going for, I don't know if it reads like that. The front legs went through a bunch of different stages, but in the end I decided to remove the claws for a reason that I will reveal later. After debating a while with myself, I decided to also add the diamond shapes of the emblem onto this design. You have to know the blue and white diamonds are what is usually used as the emblem of Bavaria, or the so-called small Bavarian emblem. And I figured whether I like the emblem or not, I should at least hint at it because it is part of, well, the Bavarian emblem. Nothing more to say when it comes to the design, so I will tell you a bit about the history of this Fakemon. Just a reminder or info for those who haven't watched the video about the first Emblem Fakemon. There are 8 different ones of them, and each belongs to one state. They were rather rare and often hunted creatures, and at one point in history the noble families decided to put them in, well, I think you could call them parks or something similar, to make sure they can be protected from thieves, etc. However, before this happened, this line was actually hunted or fought by nobles themselves. They were the typical dragons that live in caves, but they weren't interested in attacking villages or anything similar, just playing around in the woods or vibing in the caves. The evolution are rather peaceful and thoughtful creatures, while the pre-evolution is a bit different. While they are not violent, they do like to play together in the woods and often forget everything around them, or the fact that they are quite big and heavy and are able to do quite some damage. They would often knock down trees and leave huge marks on the ground with their gigantic claws. People who saw the destruction quickly spread stories about giant dragons destroying the woods. The people who heard the story, of course, gave the story to others. And the more people told the story, the more violent and over-exaggerated the story got. They added different plot points like human sacrifices and so on, like that's usually the case. People just add stuff they think is fitting, or maybe they got a certain thing wrong and just told it wrong. You know how it goes. Well, in the end the story was basically a giant army of dragons is trying to destroy humanity unless they sacrificed the daughter of the king. Classic one. At one point the fear of the people got out of hand and the king was only left with the decision to send his daughter to the dragon. Since she has no other option, she walks into the cave of the dragon and quickly gets lost. The dragon that lived in the cave obviously didn't know why she was here and what all of this was about. So they tried to guide the princess to the exit, cause they thought she accidentally stumbled in the cave and got lost. The princess was obviously a bit confused about the situation, but as soon as she saw the little Wythra playing around, knocking each other down and making quite the chaos, she realized what actually happened and that people probably overreacted a bit. She decided everything could be settled in a more civilized way if she and the mother dragon would go back to the court and explain everything. And surprisingly this plan actually worked. No one got hurt, the area where the Fakemon live was made into a wildlife reservoir, and they were announced as the state Fakemon. Well, at least that's what I've heard. And the moral of the story is, don't believe everything you hear and always check your sources. By the way, since I haven't mentioned it in a while, there would be an in-game item, an old and damaged Fable book. The player can fulfill side quests and find missing pages to restore the book to its original state. The stories about the Emblem Fakemon are also written in there, as well as the Gym Fakemon and others. If you restore the story I just told you, you will actually recognize that not all the stuff I said was part of the original one, or was partially changed. For example, the king refused to send his daughter to the dragon, but she decided on her own that she wants to save the kingdom. So she went to see the dragon, not knowing if she could fight the dragon and return, or if the dragon would be too powerful and kill her. Little things, oh well, that's actually a bigger thing, but yeah, stuff like that could be changed in the original versions. I figured that would bring a bit more dynamic into stories like that. But the drawing is done, let's see the final design. Here it is, Octragon. The name is a combination of Octo and Dragon. Simple name, but I like how it sounds. And with that, 60 Fakemon for the Jermanzburg region are done. But the video isn't over yet, cause we still have to design the emblem you get for winning the 8 emblem contest. Each emblem contest gives the winner a different emblem that represents their state. Or city, I haven't decided that point yet. The emblems are part metal and part glass. Figure that would look cool and absolutely dope in real life. In the year when the game takes place, the emblems are made out of purple glass, mainly because I love the color. You saw that I struggled a bit to incorporate the mane of Wythra into the design for quite some time, until I decided I have to stylize it a bit more, and that it didn't have to be symmetrical. I also thought that maybe I could also include or hint at the Roman number 8. It's written as VIII, and that somehow translated quite well. I do think the number 5 will probably be a bit challenging because it's just a V. Also, now looking back at the emblems and badges as well, I do think or wish that I had used a slightly different angle so I could have shown a bit more 3D, but that also would have been more difficult. So I'm sticking with this here right now. Hope you like it. I personally love designing shiny collectibles, even though it's not really what people are here for, I'm aware. Anyways, there will be a few more besides the badges and emblems. I'm looking forward to them. So thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Leave your opinions and ideas in the comments if you have any. Next week the 3rd gym will start. Really looking forward to that. Have a nice day and see you in the comments.